Hello, and welcome back to the Satoshi Society YouTube channel. My name is AJ, one of the co-hosts here, and today we are going to be taking a look at the charts. We're going to be going through Bitcoin, taking a look at the DXY, have a quick look at Ethereum as well, and we're going to talk about some data as well that is actually coming out today, and we're also going to have a conversation about the data that is coming out in the future as well, and how it's sort of going to affect the markets because of what Jerome Powell has said in in his previous speech. So yeah, before we get into the video, please make sure you smash a like on this video. I would really appreciate it. Really helps me out, really helps the channel out. So if you could just smash a like, would really appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe, turn that bell notification on as well. But anyway, jumping straight on into the charts, we can see that Bitcoin is having a little push towards the upside as of last night and this morning. Okay, but initially, we're still below the major resistance level that we need to get above in order to sort of flip bullish anytime soon. This level here, well, flip bullish in the shorter term. This horizontal previous support, now resistance level here from this ascending parallel channel, is where we need to get above if we want to see the price continue towards the upside and if we want to get bullish in the shorter term. Okay, but for me right now, I'm sat more on the scenario, more on the side of the scenario where we're going to see the price continue to pull back. Okay, we've broken towards the downside of this ascending parallel channel. We've retested this ascending parallel channel, and we are now getting that rejection, okay, from that ascending parallel channel. Okay, so for me, this is just looking prime for the price pulling back to that technical target of around $21,700, and then we have a major level at $21,468. So I would expect the price to come down there if we do see this continuation towards the downside. Now, of course, okay, we've front run this range low right here by a few dollars, but initially this range low is going to act as a little bit of support. It's not strong support, but it will act as a bit of support. So we could see the price bounce off this level. We came close to bouncing off it, literally by a few dollars. We've missed it, but initially this is something we need to look out for as well, because if we do get a wick below or even a candle below the range low, and then we get back above it and we get a continuation towards the upside, this will be a swing failure pattern from the range low here, and that could be a sign that we're going to come up and retest that resistance once again. So that's something to be aware of. However, if we do break towards the downside and get that continuation towards the downside, we're most likely going to go lower. Okay, so for me right now, just looking at Bitcoin, it's still looking very bearish, even though we are having this slight push towards the upside. Okay, if we're coming and looking at the RSI, okay, on that retest, okay, what did we see? Okay, we actually saw a bearish divergence. We said we had lower lows on the price action charts, okay, but higher highs on the RSI. Okay, so that's why we got this pullback. Now, what we could potentially see is a little push towards the upside. Let that indicator come up to this sort of mid-range around 50, okay, and then from there we could potentially see another pullback. But again, what I say in previous videos, we need to have a look at other charts. Okay, we need to have a look at other indicators such as the DXY, which helps us helps us with our Bitcoin TA. Okay, because we know that DXY and Bitcoin are inversely correlated. When the DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. But when the DXY comes down, Bitcoin goes up. And the reason why we're seeing this push towards the upside as of last night and today is in fact because if we take a look at the DXY, we can see that the DXY is getting rejected, okay, from this 103.617 horizontal white line right here. Okay, and as I said in a previous video, this is it's not a major level. Okay, it's not one of our major levels, but it is a semi-major level because it has been very well respected to an extent in the past. Okay, so resistance here before the breakup, slight deviation here. Okay, support after the break towards the upside. Okay, support here, little break here, but initially support there, and now we are using it as resistance. Okay, now if the price of the DXY gets above this horizontal level, without a doubt, we're going up to 104.5, potentially even close to 106. Okay, which is not going to be good for Bitcoin. If we see that break up and we come up to this resistance, I would expect that Bitcoin would continue towards the downside and potentially come pretty close, if not all the way down to 21,460 $8, which is that target that I have, whilst we are below this resistance level here. Okay, so looking at that DXY, it is pulling back. That is, of course, is what we would like to see if we want to see the price of Bitcoin continue towards the upside. Okay, but again, we could have another retest of this resistance here and potentially break it. That is a possibility. So right now, we just have to sort of keep an eye on that DXY and see what is happening with that. Taking a quick look at the ES as well, which, as you know, is the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Okay, that's come back and tested yesterday. Okay, we got that rejection, but today we're coming back and testing that resistance, as you can see right there. Again, this is going to, this is all going to, whatever the price does on the ES is going to depend on what the DXY does. Okay, so if the DXY continues to get a rejection from here and comes down to the support, we're most likely going to see the ES push towards the upside and probably see Bitcoin do the same as well. However, if the DXY breaks above this, we're going to see the ES and Bitcoin have an even bigger pullback than it already is having. Okay, so we do just have to be very, very aware of that, but for me right now, because we're below this resistance, we're getting that rejection, or we've had this rejection, we're still looking very bearish. Okay, if we get below this range low and we continue towards the downside, we're most likely going lower to $21,468. Okay, and we do have some data coming out today which will most likely affect the price of the DXY, traditional markets, and the price of Bitcoin as well, and sort of the rest of the crypto market as well. And that data that is coming out is where is it? Am I on the right day here? Unemployment claims. Here we go. Unemployment claims. Okay, so the previous was 183K. Okay, they're forecasting 191K. Okay, that's what they're forecasting. Okay, they want the unemployment claims to be going up. However, okay, if we see unemployment claims come in lower than forecasted, okay, so lower than 191K, okay, what is most likely going to happen is that the markets are going to have a pullback and that DXY is probably going to push towards the upside. Okay. That is what I would expect to happen. And I'm not going to play the video. I tried to play it for you yesterday because, there is some really important things in this. Let's just see the right one. Let's get. So I don't think you can actually get rid of these adverts. Okay, this video right here. I would highly suggest after you finish watching this, go and watch this video here. Okay, it's on Bloomberg Television. Powell says further rate increases are needed. Okay, it's a 3 minute and 55-second video. Go and watch it. Towards the end is where it gets more interesting. The things that he says are going to affect the market the most. But basically, what he says, sort of in the last minute, okay, is that if the data comes out better than expected, okay, better than they expect, such as, okay, if we go to the last 7 days, okay, if we've got non-farm payrolls, that came out a lot better than expected, okay. Jerome Powell did not expect this. Jerome Powell did not expect that the non-farm payrolls would come out this good, okay. They forecasted 185K, but the actual was 517K. Okay, so they completely missed their mark there, and came out a lot higher than expected. And this is actually bad for the market. Okay, what we want to see, if we want to see the markets continue to push towards the upside, we want to see this number as low as possible. Okay, but that's not what we're seeing. Okay, we're seeing the number actually increase, meaning that there are more jobs available. Okay. And because of that, we did see the market, in fact, have a pullback because of that. And basically, what Powell is saying within this, okay, because of what happened here, because of what happened with this non-farm payrolls coming out a lot higher than they expected, what he mentions in this is that if data continues to come out better than expected, then what he is going to do is he's going to continue increasing rates, and potentially even continue increasing rates by an increased amount. And when I say that, I mean that, let's just bring it up. He's going to, rather than increasing by 25 basis points, he could actually potentially increase, by 50 basis points, like he did in December, maybe even 75. Okay, because if inflation is going to start going back up again, okay, they're going to have to be more aggressive to to bring that down to their intended target. Okay, so we do just have to be very, very aware of that. And if that happens, if this is the case, they're going to be increasing rates by an increased amount, the market is most likely going to have a very bearish reaction to that. 25 basis points in itself is not too good. Okay, if we're going to continue to increase by 25 basis points, markets are most likely going to continue to push towards the downside. Okay, so I highly recommend you watch this. The last minute is the most important bit. But as I said, he pretty much says if data comes in better than expected, okay, he's going to be tempted to increase rates by an increased amount, and just continue increasing rates as well. Okay, and this is on the 14th of February. Okay, Valentine's Day is going to sort of be that decider day. Okay, because we do have the inflation rate year over year coming out. Now, if this comes in higher than expected, okay, higher than the previous, okay, which was 6.5%, if it comes in higher than expected, okay, then this is not going to be good for the markets because, of pretty much what Powell has said. If the data is going to come in, I say better than expected, okay, but this, is not better than expected. In this case, worse than expected. Then they're going to have to continue to increase the rates and potentially by an increased amount as well, which is it's not going to be good for the market. So this is going to be a very, very important day, February the 14th. Okay, I will most likely, it's 1:30. I will most likely go live for this, and we will see how the markets will react to that. But as I said, today we do have coming out in about 29 minutes, 19 minutes. Okay, 19 minutes. We do have the unemployment claims coming out. As I said, if we're going to see this data come in lower than forecasted, then we're most likely going to see the markets continue towards the downside. Now, because of what Jerome Powell says, the markets are going to be affected quite a lot by data such as unemployment claims, okay? Because he said, if data is going to be coming out that's, not what they expect the data to come out as, then, they are going to have to act off of that by increasing rates, potentially by an increased amount as well. Okay, so we've got to be very, very aware of that. And if that is the case, we are most likely going to see those markets continue to pull back. Okay, and then adding all the other factors into it as well. The technicals are looking bearish, and even the fundamentals, right? RSI is pulling back, but still slightly overextended. Okay, we've got this massive bearish divergence on this daily. We could see a bigger pullback from here, and especially if the fundamentals are going to continue to show us bearish signs, then we're most likely going to see that impact the markets as well, as in see that and pull back the markets. Okay, what else have we got? Wall Street cheat sheet. I've gone through this a few times as well, but I'll just show you quickly again for those who haven't seen. But we're looking very, very similar to this this part of the market right here. Okay, what we tend to see on the Wall Street cheat sheet, I'll go through it in two sections. Okay, we have the pullback section, and then we have the slight consolidation period where the consolidation is more towards the downside. Okay, what we have is we have the high of the bull market, we have a pullback. We have another push towards the upside, okay, and then but we form lower highs, okay, and then we have a massive push towards the downside, okay. That's the first sort of section, okay. And what have we seen? We've seen the high, we've seen the pullback, we've seen the push towards the upside, forming a lower high. Then we've had the bigger pullback right there, okay, forming this low right here. And then where do we go from there? Well, we form this anger phase, this sort of consolidation phase. Which leads into a bigger consolidation phase, into that depression phase. But what we see is we see a low, a high, a lower low, a lower high, and then we slowly churn our way down to a new low of the bear market, okay, going lower than this lower low here, okay, so forming a new lower low. And that's exactly what we're doing right now, okay. We've come down, we formed that low, we formed the high, we formed the lower low, and right now we are forming that lower high. Okay, we form that lower high, and now for me, it looks as though we're leaving this anger phase, okay, and we're going to slowly churn our way down, okay, to a potential new low of the bear market, which could take us down to 14,000, maybe even 11, 10,000. Who knows? Okay. But for me, with the fundamentals looking bearish, the technicals looking bearish, I think this is a very likely scenario. Okay. Yes, I could be wrong. And for me to invalidate this, okay, on my behalf, I would like to see Bitcoin get above this previous high right here, which is around $24,300. To 25,000. That area there, I would just like to break above this high, get a candle break above these highs, getting above this resistance. Then we can use that support and continue towards the upside and potentially go to $30,000. Okay, 30K. That would be the next level. That would be the invalidation for this very bearish scenario if we can get above this resistance right here. But for me, it looks as though we could be getting a rejection from this resistance right here. Okay, we tested it pretty much to the dollar right there. Okay, and we are getting a rejection from it. Okay, if we continue to get this rejection, then I would expect this phase to commence. Okay, this leaving the anger phase, coming into this depression phase where we slowly churn our way down, form a new low, have a push towards the upside, accumulation phase there, and then we lead into this disbelief phase, and then we could start the bull market. Okay, for me, I still think we do need to have another leg towards the downside. We do need to form another low of the bear market before we can continue towards the upside. Many of you may disagree with me. Many of you may agree with me. Okay, but this is my opinion. This is what I see the markets, telling me. Okay, it just looks to me that the markets want to go lower. Okay, fundamentals are screaming that at me. Technicals are screaming that at me as well. But as I said, markets can change in an instant. Okay, markets can change in an instant, and we could potentially see, the price of Bitcoin break above this resistance, use its support, bounce off of that, and then 30K would be my next target. Okay, that's when I would get bullish and start talking about 30K. But I'm not going to give in to the FOMO. I'm not going to give in to everyone talking about this. The golden cross, blah, 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 all over Twitter, all over YouTube. Everyone's getting really bullish. Okay, we've started the bull market. I'm not going to do that until my levels are broken. Okay, other people have their own TA, but I have my own TA and it works for me. Okay, and I'm not going to get bullish unless we break above 25,000 and get a bounce off of that level. Okay, that's my bullish scenario, getting above 25K. Okay, that's my bullish scenario. Anything below that is bearish for me, and we're going lower, and we are going lower. If we are below this, for me, we are going lower. Okay, whether you agree with me or not, that's your decision. But for me, right now, it's looking more bearish than bullish because we're getting rejected from this resistance, forming bearish divergences, even on this weekly chart as well. Okay, we have to factor this in. The last time we formed a divergence was a bullish divergence. Okay, lower lows on the price action charts, higher highs on the RSI. What happens? Big push towards the upside. That's great. Okay, that's what we like to see. However, what are we forming right here? Hidden bearish divergence, lower lows. Okay, we're forming lower lows on the price action charts, but on the RSI, we're forming higher highs, as you can see right there. Okay, so we've got to take that into consideration. The previous divergence played out very, very well. Okay, that previous divergence had a massive 55.72% pump. Okay, almost a 56% pump. Okay. Where could this bearish divergence take us? If that could give us if that could bring us, over a 50% pullback, let's have a look where that could take us. Okay, say it had the same amount of the same effect as that bullish divergence had. This could bring us down to $13,400 approximately. Okay, so we got to factor these in. Okay, we have to factor all of these bearish targets, all of these bearish scenarios. Okay, because yes, we've had this nice push towards the upside. However, okay, we are seeing these very bearish scenarios, okay, seeming to starting to play out, okay, because we are seeing this pullback from here, okay. So just got to be very, very aware of that. This bullish divergence played out really well, okay. Now, is this bearish divergence going to play out really well? And if that's the case, that's could bring us all the way down to 14,000. 12,000, maybe 13,000, 11,000, whatever, 10,000. Okay. But initially there is a lot of bearishness out there for me. Okay. And it's not the right time to be getting bullish. Okay. And I just want to make you very aware of that, because I know some people that watch this are going to be very, very bullish. Okay. They're going to be getting very bullish and overly bullish as well. Okay. Where was it? Back here. Okay. This pump here. Okay. Everyone was getting really, really excited with this push towards the upside. Now we made a few long positions, okay, when we had this push towards the upside, okay. We opened up a few long positions, or maybe it was this push towards the upside. One of these pushes towards the upside. I can't. It was this one here. Probably both of them, to be perfectly honest. But I think it was this one. The previous one, obviously, was this one. But everyone was getting really bullish with this rally towards the upside here. And everyone was just, FOMOing into those long positions. Okay. Yes, we took a few long positions during that time. Okay. But, I was still telling you that I was remaining bearish. Even though I was taking long positions, I was remaining bearish. Okay. And then we actually shorted the very top here. Okay. We shorted the very top and we made a very, very nice trade. Pretty much almost down to the low of the bear market so far. But we did take a bit of profit before we hit that low. But we made one of our biggest trades here, one of our nicest trades here. Over around $4,000 in a profit. I showed you me trading this as well. It was a really, really, really nice trade. And that was over the course of a week. Really, really nice trade there. And I'm saying the same thing here. Okay. Yes. We've had these bullish signs, okay? We've had these bullish signs. We've had these bullish divergences, okay, which has played out nicely. Okay, we've been breaking resistance levels, which I said, if we break this resistance level here, where are we going? Okay, I told you, if we break this resistance level here, I would expect the price to come up to this resistance level here, and it did. Okay, it tested it, as you can see on this wick here. Let's zoom in a little bit. We can see that we actually tested this pretty much to the dollar. Okay, right there. Okay, pretty much to the dollar. Exceeded it by a few dollars, but we hit that really, really nicely. I said, if we broke above this, we're most likely coming up to this resistance level here. Okay, but throughout this push towards the upside, I still remained bearish. Okay, because we haven't exceeded, we haven't broken above that resistance level yet, which we need to break above for me to flip bullish. Okay, that resistance level, as I said, is around 25,000. We get above there, support, continuation towards the upside. I'm bullish. I'm saying 30k. Okay, if we get above that. Okay, but whilst we're below it, I'm very bearish. And whilst we're forming these bearish divergences, okay, and getting breaks towards the downside of these bearish patterns, then for me, we're coming back down to the support. We're coming back down to $18,800. And then if we break that, then we're going lower. Then we're going to 13,000 potentially, maybe even 12, maybe even 10. Who knows where the bottom is going to be? But for me, this is where I am currently sat. Okay. We do have 8 minutes left of 8 minutes left until this unemployment claims comes out, so I probably will just stay live for you, and we'll have a look at other things as well. Let's take a quick look at Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum is really, really, really respecting the levels right now. Okay, Ethereum is respecting these levels that we have. Okay, what we can see is we came up for another test of this resistance level here. Okay, we have this high from it's not the high anymore, but the previous high of the range here. Okay, and what have we done? Okay, we've created a swing failure pattern here. We had a pullback. Okay, another slight swing failure pattern from this high here, pullback here. Okay, and we formed the same thing here, and we're having another push towards the downside. Okay, but initially, we're still respecting this horizontal level here, okay, as resistance. Okay, as you can see, we've now tested it 3 times since that first initial touch. Okay, and we're continuing to get rejected from this, and as you can see, we are having that pullback back below that value area high. Okay, and if we are going to continue to see these rejections, or if we're going to continue to see the DXY push towards the upside and Bitcoin pull back, then we're most likely going to see Ethereum come down to potentially $1,560 approximately at that value area low. Okay, and from there, we can reevaluate, is there any long opportunities from there? Okay, we can reevaluate that if the price does go there. There is still possibilities for long opportunities, even though I am very bearish at this moment in time. There still is possibilities to trade ranges like this. This would have been a really, really perfect range to trade. Unfortunately, I was on holiday for some of this, for most of this, and I've taken a break from trading over the course of Christmas and whilst I was on holiday as well. But now when I start getting back into, trading and bringing you the trades as well, I'm slowly getting back into, opening up my trades on my personal accounts. But Once I'm happy that I'm fully settled back into full-time trading, I'm going to come and bring them live to you, and show you every single trade that I'm taking, like I was doing before Christmas. We made 10 trades, 8 of them winning trades, 2 of them losing trades. It's a pretty good win streak. And as I said previously, you can never ever win all of your trades. So, an 80% win rate is a pretty good win rate to have. So that's what I'm looking at doing, bringing these trades back to the channel, and showing you me live trading them as well, putting in either the limit orders or actually physically market buying at that moment in time. Okay. And then, of course, even if I'm just limit trading, as in putting those limit orders in, I will come live once those limit orders get hit, sort of no matter the time, unless I am asleep, of course. But yeah, for Ethereum, I'm still expecting a pullback. Okay, we're continuing to get rejected from this resistance. Now, if we do come up and test this resistance again, then there could be a high chance that we break this resistance level here. Okay, we break $1,684. Okay, if you continue knocking at a door, unless no one's home, but if someone's home, you continue knocking at that door, someone is going to open the door. Okay, so if the price of Ethereum is going to continue to knock at this resistance level here, then there's a high chance that it's going to break towards the upside. Okay. But we do just have to be aware as well, whilst the price was coming and testing these resistances, the reason why we got a pullback, okay, is because we were also forming bearish divergences, okay? Higher highs right here, okay, from this sort of third test. Okay, what did we see on the RSI? We saw lower lows, textbook bearish divergence. Okay, again here, okay, on this final test right here, okay, we were forming higher highs in the price action. But again, RSI, we were forming lower lows. And then if we're looking at the bigger scale of it as well, higher high, high, higher high, higher high here. Okay, RSI, high, lower high, lower high. Okay, so an even bigger bearish divergence there as well. Okay, so for me, it's looking pretty likely that we are going to come down to $1,560 approximately. But again, there is a possibility that target could be invalid. If that target is invalid, then I would expect the price. Well, for that target, to be invalid, I would expect the price to be coming up to the resistance and breaking that resistance, potentially use that support and continue towards the upside. Okay. And no bearish divergence forms. Okay. But if we do come up again and we form another potential bearish divergence, then there is a possibility that another pullback could commence from there. Okay, so we've got to be very, very careful here. If you are, thinking about getting into long positions, if you are thinking about thinking about buying, okay, just be very aware that the market is looking very bearish right now rather than bullish. Okay, for me, if I was looking to long, okay, if you've been following the channel, you know that I like to long support. Okay, I like to long support. I like to, find the rough bottom, long that support, and take that up to the resistances, and then take profit up there. Okay, I'm a level to level trader. Okay, same with vice versa. Same with the shorting. Okay, I like to short resistances. Okay, I don't like to I don't like to long breaks of resistances and short breaks of support. I like to short resistances and long the support. Okay, for me, that works the best. That's worked the best in the past, and I'm going to continue to do that. Okay, so for me, to be honest with you, if we're going to break this resistance here, I wouldn't be looking for a long there. The long, if I were to be in a long, it would be entering it somewhere down here at that value area low. Okay, and were there any signs for an actual long position down here, to be honest with you? I don't even think there were. No. Yeah, okay. From here would have been a nice long position. Okay, from this section right, let's just pull up the pen tool. From this section right here, wasn't looking, from this section here, it wasn't looking prime for any long positions, no. But from this little section here, yes. Okay, higher highs, hitting a previous low along here. That's a support level there, and then lower lows on the RSI. So textbook bullish divergence. So from there would have been a nice long position, riding that up to value area high. And then here, we're forming these bearish divergences. This would have been a really nice shorting opportunity here, and to ride that short potentially down to value area low, where you would then be looking for a potential long position. Okay, but remember, the way I trade is I like to keep capital within that trade just in case the range breaks. Okay, because the way I trade is I trade a range until that range has broken. Okay, so if I'm shorting this, okay, you're taking profit along the way down. Okay, taking profit at the intended target, a value area low, but you're always leaving a little bit in. Okay, you want to look for that next long position. Okay, but always leaving a bit in. A little bit in that short position still, even though you're entering a long position, because what happens if that long position fails? Okay, if that long position fails, okay, and hits your stop loss, you can make up for that loss and maybe even more as well, because you have that short position. Okay, you still have capital left in that short position. Okay, maybe it's only a little bit. Okay, maybe it's only 25% of that 100% that you had invested in that short position. But initially, if that range breaks towards the downside and we get a continuation towards the downside, that 25% is going to pay for that long position loss which you would have taken, but also that 25% could make you really, really nice returns, and you could potentially even add to that short position as well if you saw signs of or if you saw more bearish signs. Okay, anyway, that data, moving on quickly, that data should have actually come out right now. Let's have a look. Let's load it. Okay, so that has actually come in slightly higher than forecasted, okay, which initially is supposed to be good for the market, okay, is supposed to be good for the market. So let's have a look at Bitcoin and let's see what's happening. Is it going to have much of an effect on the price of Bitcoin? Let's go down to a smaller time frame. I'm in a slight push towards the upside, nothing major, but initially, this is probably going to have a slight effect. I wouldn't expect it to have a massive effect on the markets, okay, but it probably will have a slight effect on the markets. So we'll just have to see how that does affect the market. It is having a slight push towards the upside, but not much of an effect at all. Okay, but initially, this data that is going to be coming out is very crucial. If this came in a lot higher than forecasted, then I would expect, a pretty I would expect a bigger pump than we're seeing right now, but it's pretty close to forecasted. So it's nothing too exciting, but initially still having a slight push, potentially because of it. Okay, but yeah. That's pretty much everything that I've got for you today. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure you smash a like on this video. I would really, really appreciate it if you could just smash that like button. It lets me know that you like to see this type of TA and you want me to bring you more trades as well, like I was before Christmas. We'll get onto that grind streak once I'm happy that I'm settled back into day trading again, or swing trading as well. But thank you very much for watching, guys. And if anything happens later on today, you will be the first people to know about it. I will update you with anything that happens, if there's anything to update you with. Other than that, I will just see you tomorrow for that normal live stream. So thank you very much for watching. Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn that bell notification on if you're on new. So I will see you later on. Thank you very much, guys.